Oh, whoa, knocking things over. Hey, everybody, Economic Ninja here. We're going to be talking about the BRICS nations. We're going to talk about how they're changing the Bitcoin game. It's really exciting. I've got 3 different stories. They're all about the BRICS. The last one is about the BRICS nations and Bitcoin and why you need to pay attention to what's going on. I've told people this for a long time. Ever since I started the channel, Bitcoin is around 3,000. I said people are going to lose their minds when Bitcoin hits 100 grand. They're really going to lose their minds when it hits 1 million. And the scary thing is you could actually see $1 million play out in this Bitcoin super cycle. Why do I call this a super cycle? Because normally we have a Bitcoin cycle where the price of Bitcoin ebbs and flows. It's constantly doing this, just like the housing market, because it is appreciating versus the US dollar. But these big ups and downs, they can be huge swings. Now, tend to the tunes of tens of thousands of dollars. But why this is a super cycle is because it would be one thing if we're inside the electricity cost, the hash rate, compared to the price of Bitcoin and adoption, like what we've seen for the last 4 or 5 cycles. But when we're talking about halvening, the Bitcoin halvening cycle, the reason why this is a super cycle is we now have nation states vying for Bitcoin. And what's crazy is Congress will not authorize, because Wyoming has put out a bill to purchase up to 5% of all of the Bitcoin in existence. Congress hasn't done anything. They don't want to approve it. Sadly, because most of them are buying Bitcoin personally, don't want to buy it at the lowest price. And now you've got an incoming president that has no authority yet, but will soon, says, I back this. I want to see this. And if Congress doesn't do this, he's going to push it through with an executive order. Just that amount of buying power is going to cause the price of Bitcoin to skyrocket, which could have a blow off top around $1 million in this cycle. That's not baked into the cake though yet, right? And he's got to be still diplomatic about it and wait for Congress, like, hey, are you going to authorize this bill or not? Are we going to let the Treasury buy up Bitcoin? But what's crazy is that I'm going to talk about Russia in a little bit, but other countries are like, we're not going to wait. We don't have to wait. We're going to go buy Bitcoin right now. And they're starting to buy it. And they're smart. They're strategic. They are very, I want to say manipulative, but it's in their favor. They're very calculated in the way they purchase, not like a crazy retail investor that's pulling their hair out going, I got to buy it right now. I'm trying to buy some more crypto right now and it's on a little bit of an upswing and I'm waiting for a little bit of a pullback inside of the proper range, right? Where we are in this bull flag, depending on what coin you're talking about. Let's dive right into this story. If you understand what the BRICS are, do me a favor and hashtag BRICS down below. If you have never heard of it, say, I don't know. And it's really important because it's a group of nation states that have come together to form an alliance when it comes to trade, economic boundaries and rules, trying to destroy the Western US dollar dominance. Okay, this is a very, very big deal. And this first story comes out of MR Online. It says BRICS now expands with 9 new partner countries. Now it's half of the world's population and 41% of the global economy. This is a very, very serious situation we have here. If you are in America or in Europe, do me a favor. Type what country and what state you're coming from and understand that this is a very serious situation. It says BRICS, the Global South-led Forum for Economic Cooperation, continues to grow in influence as it seeks to de-dollarize and transform the international monetary and financial system. It says after admitting 4 new members in 2024, BRICS officially welcomes 9 new nations as partner countries on January 1st, 2025. This is Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand, Uganda, and Uzbekistan. All right. So now think about this. It is now a fact that BRICS now makes up more than 41% of the world GDP. This is incredibly serious. It is a massive threat to the US dollar system. Now, type 1 if you agree that the dollar needs to go bye-bye. I mean, we have used, the United States has used it like a terrorist on the world economic platform. It has just been, it's just really not been good. But it's still, right now, is the main source of trade settlement. Okay, well, things are changing fast. Check out this next story. And real quick, I want to make a shout out because I was caught in a storm, a sandstorm, a snowstorm yesterday. We pushed off the last day of the course. I couldn't do any videos telling everyone about it. Last day, links down below for tax liens and tax deeds, or the tax foreclosure master course. Those two courses down below, they're going up, never going to be that price again if you want to look into it. That's the next big cycle. We're going to be talking about that in the spring a lot. It's going to be in the news. I like to be ahead, and I want you to learn this once, and then for the rest of your life, you can make lots of money off of it. Either, buying tax liens, making 36% a year on your money from your home, registering for auctions, or buying homes for 10, 20 cents on the dollar. This next story is out of Reuters. Russia is using Bitcoin in foreign trade, the finance minister says Russian companies have begun using Bitcoin and other digital currencies in international payments following legislative changes that allowed such use in order to counter Western sanctions. Finance Minister Anton Sluvanov said on Wednesday, sanctions have complicated Russia's trade with its major partners such as China and Turkey, as local banks are extremely cautious with Russia. So check this out. You have got the finance minister of Russia coming out and saying, hey, we got so beat down by U.S. sanctions and our ruble turning to rubble, as Joe Biden put it, right? And then it kicked back up. But still, the Russian ruble is losing ground compared to other currencies. They started using Bitcoin. Vladimir Putin came out and actually announced at some massive meeting with other country heads, Bitcoin is true freedom because it's the only way we could skirt these Western sanctions. Well, now think about this. This is what most people don't put two and two together. If Russia is now allowing the floodgates to open up on Bitcoin, and not only for its citizens to mine it and own it, but as the price goes up, their citizens are getting richer, right? But if they, as a country, have announced we have actually closed trade settlement from nation to nation in Bitcoin with China and Turkey, that means China and Turkey are doing the same thing. See, the story right now is about Russia because they came out and they said, hey, this is the truth. This is what we're doing. And I need you to understand that, 20 years ago, there'd be U.S. bombers in Russia when an announcement like that, we'd start a war. This is how every war has been fought over currency usage. That's what people don't realize. Iraq, hey, 9/11 happens. They're like, hey, we're going to Iraq. They're like, why? Well, there's some kind of weapons over there. No, there's not. The weapon over there was that Saddam Hussein did not want US dollars for his oil. He wanted euros. That was it. That was it. They just give you a different answer. And then they put in a central bank in Iraq, and they destroyed the currency, just like they did with the Kuwaiti dinar. They had a big plan to revalue it, but the problem is they didn't expect social media to go oust them. Then you see all these other countries, these wars that we fought in different countries. Guess what happens? They turn around, they put a central bank in place. See, the thing is, if you right now don't own any Bitcoin, I'm not joking. This isn't financial advice. This is life advice. When something big is coming, like a big change, right now we're seeing a massive change in the financial system. You need to learn about it. This is cryptography or blockchain technology, especially decentralized blockchains, are akin to the creation of the internet. Putting a bunch of computers around the world talking together for a common currency to be developed, issued, tracked, and all that stuff. It's so mind-blowingly different. It's crazy. You need to learn about it. I'm not saying go dump a bunch of money into it, but if you learn about it, you know what's crazy? Spend 3 or 4 hours researching why Bitcoin has its value and why you can't fake a Bitcoin. I see a handful of people out there in the world that are they're complete idiots. They're just like, Bitcoin's a scam. I'm like, well, why? Because it is. Well, could you explain why it's a scam? Nope, it's just a scam. Those are fools. If you took 3 or 4 hours to take some time out of your life to research it, you go, oh my gosh, why didn't I know this earlier? Oh, because this is self-teaching mode. This is the Wild West. This is you're how many people, by a show of hands, that have owned Bitcoin, just throw out an emoji, any emoji, wishes now knowing what they do about cryptocurrencies, not just the price going up, wish they would have bought it a long time earlier. Just do me a favor, throw out an emoji or say, I do. I wish I would have bought it earlier. Well, I'll tell you what, my first, ETH was at $50. My first Bitcoin, ironically, was at $500. And, I remember having a note to myself to buy Ethereum at $1. I'd be a billionaire right now. I'm not joking. I know exactly where I lie, and I would be at $1 billion financially. I'm talking about, and I just life got in the way. I really highly suggest you learn about Bitcoin. If you want the 101 Bitcoin XRP 101 accelerator course for all the basics, there's a sale link down below. Dylan taught 80% of that course. I have not met one person. As a matter of fact, if you own the course and you've gotten something out of it, do me a favor and just type 100. Um, and let people just, I let you speak for me, not, I honestly believe it's the greatest value in cryptocurrency when it comes to educational products because it's the basics. Right now, the BRICS nations they are hell bent on destroying the US dollar. They have had enough of these sanctions and being weighed down and treated like third rate countries. Now, look at this. This story is out of Bitcoin.com. It says BRICS intensifies alternative payments in 2025. Agenda targets a dollar-free system. BRICS will prioritize alternative payments in 2025, aiming to reduce the reliance on the US dollar and boost trade in local currencies under Brazil's leadership. Now, remember, the leadership of BRICS changes constantly. They want to make this, especially as they're attracting more nations, and they've got way more nations wanting to sign up, right? But they're slowly bringing them in based on their economic platform, their GDP, their debt ratios, those kind of things. They're being very smart in how they're doing this. They're literally like the Rolex of currency systems. They want everybody vying to get in, and they're like, we're going to choose who's going to wear our currency system. I know it sounds crazy. It's the best analogy I can give right now. It says the development of alternative payment systems and reducing reliance on US dollar will be central to the BRICS initiatives in 2025 as Brazil takes over for the group's presidency. They do this every year. The focus aims to strengthen economic cooperation among BRICS nations and their partners by facilitating trade in local currencies and creating financial mechanisms that bypass traditional Western-dominated systems. Well, how do they do that? Well, they are already working on blockchain alternatives to be able to run their digital currencies on top of blockchain. This is why a lot of people have invested in XRP, XLM, things like that. As a matter of fact, when you're looking at ISO compliant coins, that's a very important thing. As a matter of fact, everyone owns, type it out. You own XRP or XLM, just type it down below if you do. This is why a lot of us investors are making a lot of money, okay? Because it's going up exponentially as more and more countries buy off and pick these currencies up, right? Or sorry, these blockchain tokens, I like to say. I don't look at XRP as a currency, okay? It's yeah, it is a currency in the fact that you can't use the XRP ledger without buying XRP to put it into the XRP machine to get everything to run. You say here that the main emphasis, and this is from the leader of the BRICS nation out of the Brazilian president, sorry, Luis Inciaco. I'm bad with that pronunciations. The main emphasis should be and be placed precisely on relations with partner countries. They are in a massive group right now. They now control 41% of the world's GDP. By the end of 2025, it will be over 50% of the world's GDP. This is not a joke. Yet, our current administration treats it like a joke. And I can guarantee you this, the next administration is coming in with a big stick, but I want you to understand he's wielding it now verbally. He's not going to have to use it because what's going to happen is you're going to see this next president come in and want a path to currency peace. A lot of people talk about peace, they think about wars, right? Shooting wars, hot wars. You have to understand we are in an economic war right now, and lines are being drawn. And so what's going to happen is you're seeing a big stick being welded verbally, but you're going to see a totally different route come January 20th, 21st. Because the first thing he needs to do is stabilize these trade wars right now and make a path that is good for both sides of the party. If both sides have a path to prosperity, which is totally possible, right? We're a tyrannical government right now. I believe so. I believe the U.S. government is hurting other countries and trying to get away with, quite frankly, murder in the economics realm. And we need to not be like that. We need to go back to our original roots of helping other countries and bringing people together and being awesome, being and aid to other people. And then we're going to all crush it together. Um, I hope you got something out of this. If you want the today's last day or 24 hours left, something like that, if you go look at the timer for the tax liens and the tax lien pro and the tax foreclosure master, I honestly think it's the greatest investment you're going to make if you want to invest in a type of real estate that very few people know. And once you know it for the rest of your life, you're going to be able to identify deals and make money and save lots of money. And then if you want any kind of crypto education products, I honestly believe that my company is leading the pack. I thank my partners that have helped me teach these courses. The links are down below, and they've changed a lot of people's lives. I'm not joking. And you know what we do too? We always do this. You know, you get 14 days to look over the material. If you watch less than 50% of the courses and you say, hey, this isn't for me, you can have your money back. This isn't, I want to, I want to build an educational company, a financial educational company by helping you. Once I help you with one course and you go, oh my gosh, you just saved me a ton of money, saved me a ton of time, and now I'm making money. Guess what you're going to do the next time I come out with a product? You're going to buy it, because that's how good businesses work. And that's what I want to do. I want to make small businesses great again. And I want to make you rich again, or rich for the first time. And that's how we're going to get our country back. No government dependence, but much more independence. Hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja is out.